Oh, that's cute. Oh. Oh. Okay. Alright, now everybody else has a fair chance at winning the race, I guess. Alrighty. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is the second season, first week, and they have finally re-added trials. I was not expecting that. And that's a wonderful thing, because now I have something to tune cars for. It isn't just a pushover event. I haven't actually looked to see what the trial vehicles are or what the event is yet, so that'll be a bit of a surprise for me. But we'll get in there and see if we can do any damage. So it appears as though this is going to be a rally event, and they are all circuit tracks. These will be mixed surface events, I am assuming, meaning that we're not going to have to tune for any crazy jumps, anything like that. Oh, it is a B-class event, so that narrows it down significantly. Anything that's Rally Monster or Classic Rally should be applicable here. Not a huge car list, especially right now at the first couple of months into the game's life cycle. There's at least one classic rally car in the 80s. That would be a very interesting choice to build out to see how that turned out, and I bet it would be competitive too. I really like that car anyways, so yeah, we don't have a ton of choice here. I'm just going to go ahead and put up on screen all the available cars that work for this event. So after a bit of trial and error, it is very apparent that the vehicles for this event will need to have horrible, evil things done to them to be competitive. I would guess that most cars aren't going to be competitive unless they're mid-engined or all-wheel drive. So what I've done here is I've taken this poor little Abarth 131 and I've put it on all-wheel drive. I believe it's still on stock tires. Yep, stock tires, all-wheel drive. May not be engine swapped. No, not engine swapped, but it has a centrifugal supercharger on it and all-wheel drive and stock tires. That's all you need to know. This is going to be a very, very sweaty challenge. Let's put it that way. The default tune feels okay. It's a little bit slippery, but I guess you're gonna have that with stock tires. Feels pretty good on the asphalt sections. It's got plenty of power. That front end's too stiff. I bet the sway bar is like 40 or 50 in the front. Yeah, that's not working for me. Let's keep it at like 20 and max the rear. See what that does for us. Rally cars tend to get less sway bar overall than road cars, but just gonna have to play it by ear. Let's lower this down to get some grip on the gravel. I didn't run that through the through my tune generator. I just eyeballed it this time. Put that at 1, put that at half. Alright, we've adjusted a couple of things here. That first gear, and I need to take diesel out of the rear. That's pulling me into the corners in a way I don't like. Watch it. It goes really, really wide, and that's because of that rear diff, front and rear diff. It's very conservative. We're gonna have to take that out. Yeah, that 10% in the front's not gonna cut it for me. Let's put that at like 2. Let's put the rear at 5. Let's bump that up. Let's bump this up to 100. At 100, let's put this down to 15. I'm gonna keep the center balance at 60. As I've said in previous videos, the center balance seems to be more in line with real cars in this game as it was compared to previous. If this was Forza Horizon 5, I'd bump this up to 70. I'm not going to do that here. This should get us where we need to go. Could reduce the rear bump stiffness a little bit. I matched them front and rear. I might tone that down a hair. Well, that was abysmal. Okay. Car doesn't want to rotate anymore. What did I do? The accel on the rear is too high. That's what it is. Yeah, because now it's just pushing that front end. Because I have no idea where this needs to be at in terms of how to make it work on gravel the best. It appears as though we may need more camber. Yeah, it wasn't enough. I know some of those cars have like 2-3, so let's just try that out and see what it looks like. Car rotates, but it's way bigger radius than I'd like it to be. Yeah, see that's not doing it for me. I can feel that sway bar. That's yeah. It's gonna help us out a little bit. Looks like I could almost put a little bit more caster in it. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to run the event. Because this car, it's not perfect by any means, but it's pretty good now. It does what I want it to do. You know, you can min-max a car out as much as you want, but what you have to keep in mind is that you're running up against opponents that are going to attempt to take you out, and having a car that's too one-track minded doesn't help you in that situation. I could probably get this car to grip up a little bit more. I could probably get it to be a little bit faster in a straight line, but overall it feels pretty competent. And I like how it feels. I don't know if it's competitive or not, but we'll see. Yeah, that's how I'd do it. That initial turn-in sucks now that I've got rid of that camber. Should have inflated the tires a little bit. That would have helped me as well. Kind of dusting everybody this time. That transition from asphalt to gravel is brutal. You just lose all your momentum. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. I don't even know why I try. Bruh. Oh, that's cute. Oh. Oh. Okay. Alright, and everybody else has a fair chance at winning the race, I guess. Alrighty. Don't tell me that the guy that pushed me off the side of the road's winning the race. Come on now. I'm about to get booted by Lancia. Well, maybe not. I'm catching up to you. I'm gonna push you up the side of the road. Goodbye. Downshift, you piece of junk. I guess not. This is what we call mutual combat. I was for sure that he was gonna just run me over right there. Maybe not. Okay. He's not racing me anymore. I'm sad now. I guess I should go see if I can catch up to the dude in first place. That's a smart idea. Yank the handbrake. There we go. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, but I tried. Way better than last time, I'll say that. So I think we're gonna have better luck with this car just because it's got a bit bigger of a footprint. We've already got a way more grip from the get-go. I don't know if I can afford all-wheel drive on this. Don't have a whole lot of wiggle room here. And I don't think it's going to be as fast as the Abarth. Let's keep the all-wheel drive off of it and just throw power at it, see what it does out of the box. So we don't have all-wheel drive, but we do have better stock tires. That might make up the difference, probably not, but it'll be interesting to see what happens though. Well, that's nice. Bruh. Yeah, this car handles like garbage. Yeah, this has been a waste of time. Alright, so essentially I've done the same thing with this car as I did with the Abarth. And first impressions are that it handles pretty well. It handles a lot better than the Abarth does. And that's probably attributed to the overall larger frame. Now, as you know, this vehicle is swapped. I don't know if this has the correct engine for this application in it. Something with a lower red line and more torque might have been more suitable, but I think this is going to get the job done. I think that this motor is relatively low rated in terms of PI as well. If you look at the torque curve on this particular motor, the peak horsepower hits after red line, and it still makes a fair amount of torque. That being said, while it does feel pretty well, it is not very motivated. I'm gonna have to bump up the spring rate to get this thing to do what I want it to do. Right? I don't wanna have to back it into a corner 100 yards out. I think I'm gonna leave the alignment alone. You know, it's not the same as trying to tune a street car. You know, you can see that sometimes the outsides of the tire are getting hot. Sometimes the outside is completely ice cold. But I think for this car, 1.5 degrees front and back is probably gonna give us the best overall performance. And while I could up it a little bit, both front and rear, I would start to degrade the braking performance, and I don't want to do that. The Abarth didn't do a very good job in that department. Going to adjust the spring rate. Going to leave the dampers alone. Going to adjust the driveline bias and crank it rearward just a little bit. Yeah, this all kind of looks the same as the Abarth did. Very low on the PSI just to let it grip onto the gravel and the loose surfaces. Again, front and back, 1.5, 1.6 in this case, I guess. 165 on the roll bars. That's a little different. I don't think I'm going to mess with that. It feels pretty good so far. Just gonna yank that up. Gonna yank it rearward and hope for the best. But I don't know if we're gonna have to raise the rear or lower the front or what we're gonna do. But I'm sure that's not the last time we're gonna touch that. Like I said earlier, this car doesn't need a ton of ride height. There's no jumps, anything like that. Yeah, that front end doesn't want to come around for some reason. Let's let the tires warm up and reassess. No, it understeers like a dog. That rear spring rate's gonna have to come up. Rear spring rate and maybe adjust the dampers as well. Yeah, see, I don't like how it just pushed the front end. It didn't even try to come around. I'm gonna raise the rear spring, the spring height on the rear as well. That should help us out. It's sagging out back when we get into a corner, and as cool as that looks, it's not very good for cornering performance. Yeah, it looks cool, but it needs some front grip. I'm gonna lower that way down. See if that does what I think it's gonna do, or if it just makes the car unstable. Oh, that explains it as well. I forgot to turn that down. Sweet spot in this game seems to be about 10 or 15 at the most. The more I've tuned cars, the more it feels like that front axle seems to hinder cornering performance more than I remember. Yeah, I can feel the dampers trying to get it to do something, but if you were paying attention when we were throwing parts at it, front tire width is 225s, I think, and the rear's 255s. So, in an ideal world, it would have probably 295s in the front and 315s in the back, but we don't have that option. And to stay in the class, I could have either made it square all around, have the same tire width, but the car felt slow, so I did what I had to do. It's got power in it now. It definitely needs stiffer springs, probably all around. I'm going to bump the front up by about probably 50. I'm going to bump the rear up 100 or 150. It's a little bit more motivated. It still does not want to rotate though. I'm really going to have to get aggressive with the damper settings in the front. I still want it to be able to squish down in the rear and hook up on the loose surfaces, but there is a compromise there that has to be made. Yeah, see right there, I would have liked it to rotate a little bit and then be able to throw the power on, and it's just not quick enough in those situations. That initial turn in is not very good. Yeah, let's look at the alignment, make sure we're straight on that. I may have too much caster in it. No, that's not the issue. It's blowing the outside of the tires out. Like I said, I can't adjust that without ruining the braking performance. If I slow down the pace a little bit, it really does well, but driving at 10 tenths, it's not very agreeable. Yeah, see, that was nice. That puts a smile on your face, but if you're on the gas, the initial turn-in is not great. If you let off, it rotates, it does what it needs to do. So, I think I'm just going to have to raise the rear bump and lower the front rebound. Like I said, get aggressive, more aggressive than I want to typically with it. If this doesn't look silly, I'm going to be very surprised. Yeah, it doesn't. We've lost all absorption of the bumps. It's not very happy. And that front end still doesn't rotate. That did not fix our problems. Alright, so we have lowered the front tire pressure. We've slightly adjusted the rear diff. And I don't know if any of that's going to make a difference. The front rebound is very, very aggressive at this point. It's going to negatively impact our stability and road holding ability. But if it means I can more easily manipulate the car, that's what you have to do. See, that felt okay, but the front and the rear end are now really, really disconnected. I think I'm going to pull the diff bias rearward some more. It spends a lot of time in the red line. And I don't like how violent it is over that jump either. I think I'm gonna lower the spring rate all the way down in the front. Lower the rear a little bit. This thing launches impressively well. This launches like an A-class car. Ooh, okay. It wants to move now. It feels really bad, but I bet it's fast. Yeah, I think we got this car dialed in. This feels pretty good. It's unwieldy, but it works. And it doesn't like doing that. I can just barely clip the checkpoint, throw the gas on, and it does what I want it to do. It's perfect. So let's get the show on the road. Holy cow, okay. Okay, this is where it's at. I can't say that was the ideal line for that corner. I can't believe that counted. Holy cow. Just brake it straight, then rotate the car. Get it pointed the right way and go. Yeah, it's not even close. This thing is just way faster than everything else right now. I don't think we won the race. Yeah, there's some people lagging behind back there. We're gonna have to fix that. Mac and Cheeks. That's a username. Can't make that up. I was just too fast. Why do I get the feeling it's going to pair me up with like one guy that has a stock Opel Manta? Alright, everybody in the squad seems to at least have something halfway built up, so this should be a much better challenge, I think. Just gonna let him go by, because I'll be able to catch up to him. Holy cow, this car's fast, dude. Dude, this car rocks. I forgot to hit the brakes. Whoops. That's what I get. That's what I get for doing that. Alright, now I gotta catch up. Well, that was an unfortunate little mishap. Should be a good race. Yeah, that's how I do it. Jesus. Alright, the rubber banding is going to kick in. This is going to be difficult. These two are going to push insanely fast when I get close. Maybe not. Okay. This is going to be another race where my teammates let me down. If I'm still winning in lap 2 and we're not collectively winning the race, I'm going to block traffic. Well, it looks like we got a race going. The alignment on this thing's perfect, it's just eating the gravel up. I'm dusting Lancia in a straight line too. I hate tapping that side of that mountain. I do that every time. Whoa, get going. All right. Brakes. Oh, I missed the checkpoint. Coming in hot. Leave it up to me to miss a checkpoint. Oh well. Why am I doing the Macarena? Oh, that's not me. Wrong guy standing in front of my car. What is this? What is going on here? I was like, why am I doing that? Yeah, it's not me. I'm standing in front of the wrong car. That's goofy. These end of the race screens have had just so many silly little bugs. Alright, so there's two other events this week. They're both 80s cars. One of them is hot hatches, one of them is retro super saloons. There's only like 3 cars in that 80s retro super saloons category, and they're all like $250,000. Luckily, the one for the hot hatches gives you a freebie E30 M3. We're gonna take care of that one first. There's like 2 cars. Who's choosing these categories, dude? Yeah, it's a Honda and a GTI. Okay, so the first race is gonna be a sprint. We're definitely just gonna focus on putting as much power in it as possible. Can we afford suspension? Yeah, we probably can. Yeah, I'll take the time to put a good alignment on it, if nothing else. Definitely can't afford any of that. Gonna put on the wide rear tires just to give us a little bit more wiggle room for horsepower. Every little bit's gonna count here. Is there any stupid body kit I can put on here? I can take the bumper off. If I put in the VR6, I get another 10 horsepower and another 20 foot-pounds of torque. That might be the move. And the car gets 50 pounds heavier. I think that's the move, absolutely. Okay. This don't feel too bad for D-Class. I'm gonna have to shorten up the gear ratios though. Oh, it moves. I think I need just a little bit more caster in the front. I'm gonna bump up the rear camber as well. See if I can get it a little bit more loose and a little bit more locked in once it slides. Okay, that one's moving. Now we got a race on our hands, alright. Should have done something about that rear end, it's got too much grip. If I can hold my position till we get to the end, I might have a first place, but it's gonna be close. Here we go. Afterburner's engaged, buddy. If you think I'm braking for this corner, you're a fool. I hate this game. Yeah, I kind of dusted him, but that's okay. That fifth gear afterburner is really the only thing keeping me in this, you know what? Hey now. Hey now. Alright, good luck everybody, watch this. I know you got the power to catch up. Come on, man. Watch me screw up and get stuck to the wall. Wow. I'm catching up to you. Wow. Okay. That's what I get for slowing down and having a race. That was mean. That's the goofiest thing, watching those cars just slide around there. Alright, now that we've got that taken care of, we have something to race in the other event with, so let's get on top of that, figure that out. Yep, it's C-Class, so we don't have a lot of room to work with here. We're gonna have to be frugal. We're gonna have to check this, make sure this cam's gonna work with the stock gearing, otherwise we're gonna have to figure something else out. I don't know what's going on with this car. This doesn't feel like an M3 to me. It's got a lot more grip in the front than it does the rear, which is strange for a car, you know, not necessarily underpowered, but, you know, just mundane. I might need to put more camber in the rear. Might need more camber all around. I think that's better. We're actually going to get out there and realize that we don't have enough straight line grip for braking. Yeah, that helped out. Okay. That was the ticket. It's kind of a band-aid, but it's better than driving a car that wants to slide around the whole time. I'm going to take a little bit of that sway bar out. Let's do that. Just take some of this rear rebound out. Like I said, it's got plenty of front end grip. Could stand to have a little bit more aggressive on the diff. It's spinning that inside tire a little bit. Ooh, whoops. Let's not do that. It feels good. I don't know if it's gonna be fast, but it feels good. Maybe if I take some of that spring rate out of that front end, it'll settle down a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. I'm going to throw just a little bit more decel on the rear. I'm going to call it good. This thing's close enough. It's not perfect by any means, but it doesn't feel bad. It just over-rotates sometimes in the slower corners. Pretty sure I'm getting smoked by a stock Cosworth. Yeah, I just don't have enough power to do anything here. Yeah, the gears are spaced too far apart for me to do anything. Let's see if I can avoid traffic here. Barely. I don't have any power at 4,900 RPM and I can't downshift. This sucks. Get out of the barrier, come on. He's gonna pass me going up this hill. This is the slowest street race ever. This is abysmal. Alright, now we're on the downhill. Kicking the turbo thrusters. Here we go. Whee! Oh, I overshot it. I overshot it. I'm so dead. It's gonna be what? We gotta turn the tires down. Cool. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this thing's a dog under 5,000 RPM. Or 55, really. Yep. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Really did enjoy that trial, but it did take some trial and error to figure that out. I'm looking forward to next week's challenge. Hoping it's not as restrictive as this one was.